Welcome. My name's Adam. I am an author, speaker, and a coach for men. I assist and guide men who are looking for deeper connection, meaning, and purpose in their lives. And I'll get into how I do that in a little bit. But first, I wanted to tell a story and maybe ask you a question. So come along for the ride. I want to tell you about how I got it wrong about getting it right. Now, what were you to say if I asked you, what would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? Well, some of you have probably heard that question, probably more than once, as a way to kind of jog us out of our complacency and sometimes our automatic life into thinking larger about what our meaning and purpose is here. But I think for most of us, including myself, when I heard that question, what my mind made it up to be was, what would you attempt if you knew you could get it right? As a father, as a professional, as a man, for me, getting it right was really important. But there's a question I want to ask you that's a little bit different. What would you attempt if you knew you couldn't get it wrong? Now, the difference between getting it right and getting it wrong is pretty far, but it means everything in the attempt. Because sometimes trying to get things right can put us in a position where we can't win. I want to introduce you to my father, Dr. Anthony Joseph Lamb. My dad was a great college professor. All his students loved him. He was a pretty good father to me, my brother, and my two sisters. And I thought he was a good man. See, for him, getting it right meant being a good provider. And as such, he took a little side job in order to make a little bit more money when things were tight in the house. Now, the university that he taught for found out that he had this little side job. And of course, they invoked his contract. And not only did he have to quit that job, but they took away his head of department status. So not only did he get double crushed, he lost the money out of his pocket, but he also lost the prestige that he had of being the head of his department. Now, my dad took it in stride and kept going and did everything he could to make sure that we were cared for in a proper fashion. And his singular focus was to get it right as a father and a provider. Sometime after that, my dad admitted to me in a quiet moment that all he'd ever really wanted to do in his life was to play piano in a honky-tonk bar. But once he got married and had kids, he realized that it was his responsibility to make sure everybody was okay. Just to play piano in a honky-tonk bar. I would like to tell you that that worked out great, but unfortunately when I was 31, my father died when he was barely 61 years old. I learned really well from my dad about trying to get things right. And as a chef, I bet my entire career on doing things the right way. Again, being a good father, being a good husband, being a good chef, being a good leader. But as you can see in this picture, if you look deep in my eyes, you'll see that I'm scared. Because as long as I'm focused on trying to get things right, I'm in fear that I'll get things wrong. Now, that wasn't always the case. There was a time in my life when all I really knew was possibilities. It's a funny picture, but it's indicative of how I felt at the time as a young man. I remember now what it felt like then to think that there was nothing in the world that I couldn't attempt. And as a matter of fact, I tried out for wrestling. I tried out for the band. I tried out acting when I was in high school. I was trying just about everything, but I wasn't trying it from the aspect of trying to get it right. I was just trying to have some fun. Because I knew that I couldn't get it wrong. Might not be perfect, might not look pretty, I might not have the best grades or the best outcome. But for me, at that point in my life, it wasn't necessarily about the outcome. It was the adventure. Somewhere in my life, I forgot that. And around 50 years old, I hit the wall in a bad way. After a 5-year addiction to prescription painkillers, getting fired from the best job I ever had, I ended up on a Caribbean island. Some people might think that that was a great thing, but I had to stare my life straight in the face. and take stock and realize that I had made lots of mistakes in trying to get it right. But lots of people who paid the price. And so what was I to do? Cry in my cornflakes? Lick my wounds? Well, I did that for a little bit. Then I picked myself up, put one foot in front of the other, and kept going. And so I'm here, looking to make a difference in your life. I'd like to show you what I've learned about letting go of getting it right and just having fun on the adventure. Because it's just not you. There's lots of other people who are depending on you to show them that life can be an adventure, that it doesn't have to be a struggle, that it doesn't have to be a grind. My daughter said to me not too long ago that she said no matter how bad her life was, she knew that there was one person out there living their lives like it was adventure. And I asked her, well, who do you mean, Ellie? And she said, you, Dad. For me, that was the greatest compliment I could have gotten. So let me help you. Let me assist you. Let me help guide you on your way to harmonized manhood. Click on the box below, set up a free 20-minute discovery session, and let's get going. Let's discover together what's possible for you. There's nothing to get right, and you cannot get it wrong. I'm Adam. Thanks so much for stopping by. I look forward to hearing from you soon.